$100,000 if you make this shot. Let's see.
Angel Reese had a moment she probably wanted back. After she missed a layup and the clip started making the rounds, she noticed Shaquille O'Neal laughing at the replay. Instead of brushing it off like most people would, she decided to respond in a very bold way. Rather than joking it off or moving on, Angel chose to challenge Shaq directly. She didn't do it playfully or with any hesitation. She was convinced his free throw days were long behind him. So convinced, in fact, that she put serious money on it. Not a small bet. She wagered $100,000 that Shaq wouldn't make a free throw. That's a big gamble, especially when you consider who she was betting against. Shaquille O'Neal has been shooting free throws for decades, long before Angel ever picked up a basketball. Even with his well-known struggles at the line, he's taken more free throws in his career than most players will ever attempt. When the moment came, there was no drama. No suspense. Shaq stepped up and knocked it down clean. A smooth swish, like it was just another casual shot in the gym. Just like that, the bet was over. Angel lost $100,000 in an instant. It was one of those situations where confidence turned into a costly lesson, and the outcome couldn't have been more clear.
Garbage compared to Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love black people. Mwah, 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 mwah. But I think sometimes we do play the race card too much. This ain't racial. This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese, stop it. She just seems as uncoordinated as a baby giraffe. If you throw up 85 attempts, you're eventually going to get one or two. But the fact that you have to throw the ball up 85 times.
This moment sums up the problem many people see with Angel Reese's public narrative. She sees a clip of Shaquille O'Neal laughing, and almost instantly decides that puts her in a position to challenge him. There's no pause, no reflection, no sense of scale. Just immediate confidence that she belongs in that moment and can flip it in her favor. That confidence might sound admirable on the surface, but this is where it starts to feel disconnected from reality. Shaq wasn't just another former player reacting online. He's one of the most dominant figures the sport has ever seen, with decades of experience, history, and credibility behind him. Laughing at a missed layup doesn't suddenly turn him into an easy target. What makes this situation frustrating for critics is the lack of perspective. A single viral moment became the basis for a major challenge, as if reputation, experience, and context no longer mattered. Instead of brushing off the joke or responding with humor, the situation escalated into a high-stakes bet that never needed to happen. There's also a layer of irony here that's hard to ignore. The challenge wasn't about skill development, competition, or respect. It was about proving a point that didn't need proving, and it backfired immediately. The outcome only reinforced the gap between confidence and preparation. That's why this moment stands out. Not because of the money or the embarrassment, but because it highlights a pattern. Big reactions to small moments. Bold moves without careful thought. And a tendency to overestimate leverage in situations where experience clearly matters. When you look at it that way, the irony becomes obvious. The situation wasn't misunderstood by the audience. It played out exactly the way many expected, and that's what made it so telling.
Cardoso with the miss. Angel Reese picks it up, what she's good at. Getting another offensive rebound. She says, give me that. How about another? Persistence trying to pay off. Jones gets a piece. Angel Reese won't give up. Jones with another block.
She needs to give up, bro. Oh, man. This is just not a good look, bro. If you guys ever hear another video of Angel Reese saying that women should be getting paid the same as male basketball players, NBA players, just please show her this video.
Here's the uncomfortable truth about Angel Reese that many people avoid saying directly. A big part of her public image is built on the idea that confidence alone is enough. That if you say things loudly and boldly, the results will eventually fall in line. But confidence and credibility are not the same thing. Real confidence is supported by performance. It's backed up by numbers, consistency, and results. When that support isn't there, confidence doesn't come across as strength. It starts to sound like noise. And in professional sports, noise doesn't last very long. This is a numbers business. Every game is tracked. Every shot is counted. Every miss, every rebound, every efficiency rating is recorded and shared. There's no hiding from it. The internet doesn't forget, and it definitely doesn't ignore the stats. When players talk big, the numbers are always waiting to respond. That's where the problem starts. When confidence isn't matched by production, it stops being inspiring and starts becoming something else entirely. It turns into something fans joke about, something critics replay, something that comes back around the moment things don't go your way. In Angel Reese's case, the data doesn't always support the level of self-assurance she projects. And in today's sports world, that gap gets exposed quickly. Analysts break it down. Fans clip it. Social media amplifies it. The louder the confidence, the faster the reality check arrives. This isn't about hating confidence or personality. Those things matter. But in elite sports, they only carry weight when they're paired with results. Without that balance, confidence doesn't protect you. It sets you up. And that's the risk of building a brand before the resume is fully there. When the numbers don't cooperate, they don't just whisper disagreement. They speak loudly. And in Angel's case, they've become a constant counterpoint to the image she's trying to sell.
Where do you see it? Angel Reese's performance. Watch this. This is the kicker. Amongst players with more substantial playing time, Angel Reese's performance in 2024 stands out. She shot 43.8% on attempts within 5 feet of the basket. Do you know what 5 feet is, Vinny?
That's right here.
Hang on, if she's 6'4", then fingertip to fingertip is 6'6".
So these guys are such clowns. You have a shot at getting more eyeballs to your league, and all of a sudden, you fear because it's Caitlin Clark, a white girl. You know who Caitlin Clark's going to end up being in the weirdest way possible if she makes it? She's going to be the Jackie Robinson of WNBA. Who was the Jackie Robinson of MLB?
Let's slow this down and actually look at the numbers, because this is where the conversation gets uncomfortable. When people ask, where is the performance? This is what they're pointing to. Among players who logged real minutes in 2024, Angel Reese's efficiency stood out, and not in a good way. On shots taken close to the basket, within 5 feet, she shot about 43.8%. That range matters. We're talking about point-blank opportunities. Layups, putbacks, shots right around the rim. For a player listed at 6'4", those are the looks you're expected to convert at a much higher rate. Put simply, these are supposed to be the easiest shots on the floor. When a player struggles there, it raises real questions about touch, finishing, and decision-making. This isn't nitpicking. This is basic efficiency. It gets more concerning when you zoom out. During her 2024 WNBA rookie season, Reese shot roughly 39% from the field overall. That's not just below average. That's the kind of number that makes coaching staff stop and reassess. It's the kind of stat that leads to long film sessions and tough conversations about shot selection and development. Now, supporters often point to her rebounding, especially the fact that she averages double-digit boards. And yes, rebounding matters. 13 rebounds a night sounds impressive on paper. But context matters there too. A noticeable portion of those rebounds come off her own missed shots. That inflates the number while also highlighting the same underlying issue: finishing. This is where frustration from critics really comes from. The league is actively trying to grow. It wants more attention, more viewers, and more credibility. When the conversation shifts away from on-court performance and toward personality, controversy, or deflection, it creates tension. Especially when the stats don't support the confidence being projected. And that's why comparisons, debates, and emotions flare up so quickly. Fans aren't just reacting to players. They're reacting to narratives. When production doesn't match promotion, people notice. When efficiency doesn't match hype, the gap becomes a talking point. This doesn't mean Angel Reese can't improve. Many players struggle early and adjust. But ignoring the numbers doesn't help anyone. Growth starts with honesty, and right now, the statistics paint a picture that raises fair questions. In a league where every shot is tracked and every miss is replayed, performance eventually speaks louder than confidence. And until those numbers improve, they're going to remain part of the conversation, whether people like it or not.
Oh, that's what it said. Whoever came up with the me-bounce thing, y'all ate that up. Because rebounds, me-bounce, rebounds, key-bounce, C-bounce, C-bounce, anything that comes off that board, it's mine. It's mine. And a brand, that's 6 figures right there. Whoever came up with that, the trolling, I love when y'all do it, because like the ideas be good. Like when y'all have to alter my face and shit, cause I'm cute. All right, whatever. Like that doesn't get me. But like when y'all came up with rebounds, cause statistically, all the rebounds that I get aren't always just mine. They're like the defenses too, or somebody else is on my team. But when y'all came up with rebounds, y'all ate one little thing. Jenny, we're working. We're gonna work with that. But yeah.
Here's a clearer, longer, and smoother rewrite that keeps every key point while sounding natural and human, with simple language and a steady documentary-style flow. A big part of the criticism comes down to how those rebounding numbers are built. Yes, she grabs a lot of boards, but a noticeable percentage of them come off her own missed shots. That's what people mean when they say she's padding her rebounding stats with self-rebounds. Technically, a rebound is a rebound. But let's be honest. Getting the ball back after you missed an easy shot isn't the same as outworking defenders or winning a tough battle in traffic. It's a little like losing your wallet and then celebrating when you find it again. You didn't really accomplish something worth bragging about. You just fixed your own mistake. Now, fast forward to the 2025 season. On the surface, things look better. Her overall field goal percentage climbed to about 45.8%, which sounds like real progress. And to be fair, improvement is improvement. But once again, the details tell a very different story. Early in that season, her finishing around the basket was shockingly low. On layups and shots taken right at the rim, the easiest looks in basketball, she was shooting roughly 31.5%. Let that sink in. These are not contested fadeaways or desperation shots at the end of the clock. These are point-blank opportunities that players at her size are expected to convert almost automatically. What makes this even harder to ignore is volume. She ranked third in the entire league in layup attempts. That means she wasn't avoiding those shots. She was getting them often. Yet among high-volume layup shooters, she finished those chances at a lower rate than literally anyone else in that group. This isn't about bad luck. It's not about defenders being overly physical. And it's not about one rough night that skewed the numbers. When you take that many shots from that close and miss them at that rate, the issue isn't circumstance. It's fundamentals. This comes down to technique, footwork, touch, balance, timing. These are the basics you're supposed to master long before you reach the professional level. This isn't something you're meant to figure out on the fly in the WNBA while games are being broadcast, clipped, and analyzed by everyone online. That's why the criticism keeps coming back to the same place. Confidence and energy are great. Hustle matters. But in a league where every possession counts, missing the easiest shots on the floor becomes impossible to ignore. And until that fundamental skill improves, no amount of rebounding numbers or attitude can fully cover it up.
NBA game, yeah, on defense she would get cooked, but offensively, like she'll knock down some corner threes or like a swing three, like because she can shoot from that far.
Here's a rewritten version that's clearer, smoother, and more engaging, while keeping the same points and tone, and expanding it for voiceover flow. Or think about it like this. It's the basketball version of swing, swing, swing 3, where confidence takes the shot before reality ever catches up. Because Angel Reese doesn't seem to see the gap between perception and performance at all. In her own mind, she isn't a below-average shooter on a team struggling to stay afloat. She isn't a player still working through basic efficiency issues. No, in her mind, she's someone who can confidently put $100,000 on the line against Shaquille O'Neal. She's someone who believes she's in a position to publicly challenge Michael Porter Jr. to a one-on-one game. And that's where things really go off the rails. Michael Porter Jr. made a few comments about the WNBA. Whether you agree with them or not, they clearly struck a nerve. Angel's response wasn't to address the argument or even ignore it. Instead, she issued a public one-on-one challenge to an NBA player. A man whose entire career has been built around elite-level basketball against the very best competition in the world. Now, this would be funny if it weren't so uncomfortable, because it reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of how basketball, and sports in general, actually work. Being good in women's basketball does not automatically make you good at basketball in a vacuum. The sport does not suddenly become neutral when the ball goes up. Physics still exist. Strength matters. Speed matters. Size matters. Skill gaps matter. When one player is taller, stronger, faster, more athletic, and more skilled, the difference isn't symbolic, it's decisive. This isn't disrespect. It's reality. And the reality gets even harder to defend when you look closer. Angel Reese hasn't beaten that guy since he was 12 years old. 12. She's been playing professional basketball for over a year now, and she still can't beat her own brother one-on-one. Not as a joke. Not casually. Not on a good day. Never. That's not internet speculation. That's coming from her own family. The people closest to her. The ones who know her game better than anyone else. And that might be the most brutal part of this whole story. Because when even the people in your inner circle are quietly admitting, yeah, no, she's not beating male athletes one-on-one, it becomes impossible to pretend this is about confidence or empowerment. It's about limitations. Real ones. This isn't hate. It isn't sexism. It's simply acknowledging the gap between self-image and on-court reality. Confidence is powerful, but confidence without self-awareness turns into spectacle. And at some point, the difference between believing in yourself and challenging reality itself becomes painfully obvious. That's where Angel Reese is right now. And until that gap is addressed honestly, moments like these will keep happening. Louder, more public, and harder to defend each time.